Once upon a time, in a quiet village densely populated by lush hill, high mountains and thick bush paths, there lived 3 brothers, Ada, the eldest and most thoughtful of them, Buba, the second, full of charm and curiosity, and Baji, the youngest, always quick with a smile and laughter. The 3 were known across the villages for their strength and honesty. Though they were poor, they made an honest living as labourers, moving from one farm to another, clearing weeds and helping with harvests. One hot afternoon, the brothers arrived at the modest farm of an old, frail woman. Her back was bent like a shepherd's staff, and her hands trembled when she held her walking stick. But her eyes were sharp, and her voice carried kindness. She had hired the 3 brothers to clear weeds from her overgrown yam farm, promising to pay them fairly once the work was done. The 3 brothers worked from sunup to sundown, their backs soaked with sweat and their hands blistered from pulling stubborn weeds. Just as they were finishing the last patch of land, the sky darkened. Thunder rolled across the hills and heavy rain came pouring down. It wasn't just rain, it was a wild, growling storm that flooded the paths and turned the earth to mud. The 3 brothers were drenched and shivering. There was no way to make it home. Seeing their state, the old woman called out to them from her doorway, "Come inside, children. You'll catch your death in this storm." Inside her small, warm hut, she offered them dry blankets and soft mats to lie on. But the greatest gift of all was the large, bubbling pot of yam porridge she had made over the fire. The aroma filled the room, spiced with scent leaves, red oil glistening on top, and thick chunks of soft yam, cooked with tender bits of smoked fish and sweet peppers. The brothers' stomachs growled with hunger. They sat down and ate with joy and grateful hearts, licking their plates clean when they were done. "This porridge," Baji sighed, "tastes like it came from heaven." "I've never eaten anything this good," Buba added, rubbing his belly. Ada, though he too longed for more, only smiled and said, "Thank you, Mama. You've given us more than enough." But Buba, bold and honest, said, "Mama, please, may I have a little more?" "And me too, if there's any left," Baji chimed in. The old woman chuckled, happy to see them enjoying her cooking. "Of course, children, eat to your fill." She served them more, even when Baji the youngest secretly made a joke about wanting another plate of the delicious porridge, telling his elder brother Ida to request an extra portion of the porridge so he could have them. But Ida, the smartest, advised against overriding the kindness of the old lady by making unnecessary demands. Buba, the middle brother, on the other hand, claimed to be satisfied with the portion he was giving and went to bed, happily, warm, well-fed and comfortable. That night, the storm raged outside, but inside the old woman's hut, the brothers slept peacefully. By morning, the clouds had cleared. The old woman paid them their wages and escorted them out, through the path that led home. Midway through their journey, Ida paused. "My hoe! I must have left it behind. Let me go get it." He returned back to the hut, while the old woman and his brothers waited for him by the roadside side. After a short while, Ida returned, smiling. The old woman nodded and they continued the journey. She led them through shorter path, through the woods that would take them home quickly and safely, bid them a farewell before returning back to the hut. Shortly after the 3 brothers departed, laughter and stories filling the air between them, they reached the edge of the village, where a rickety old bridge stretched over a wide, roaring river. The bridge creaked and swayed with the wind, looking as if it could collapse with a single breath. But just as they were about to take their first step onto the bridge, a voice pierced through the air like thunder. "You ungrateful boys." The brothers turned sharply. Storming toward them with wild hair, burning eyes, and trembling fury was the old lady they had just left behind. Her walking stick slammed the ground with each step. "Is this how you repay me for my kindness?" she yelled. "When you were cold, I sheltered you. When you were hungry, I fed you. When you asked for more, I gave you. And now my pot of porridge is empty." "Empty?" The brothers froze, stunned. "What?" Ida asked, eyes wide. "Mama, I don't understand." "Why steal?" she interrupted, "when you could have asked? One of you returned into my hut alone and stole from me." "I only went to get my hoe," Ida, the eldest, protested. "I would never steal from you." "I swear I didn't go near the pot." "Booba," the middle brother shouted. "I was outside the whole time." Baji, the youngest, added, his voice shaking, "We all were." But the old lady's eyes blazed. "Lies! None but the three of you crossed my path. If not all, then one of you has done this wickedness. You think I'm just a frail old woman, don't you?" With a sharp cry, she threw down her walking stick, and suddenly the world changed. The sky turned black, the air grew cold, and her body twisted. Her back arched higher, her nails grew longer, her eyes glowed green, and her voice deepened into a growl. Before their eyes, she transformed into a terrifying, crooked figure cloaked in shadows and ash. "I am Hejira, the tester of morals," she hissed, "and your hearts shall be weighed." The brothers stepped back in fear. Hejira raised her hands, and with a flick of her wrist, the rickety bridge vanished into thin air. In its place, a thick vine swung from a towering tree. Below it, the calm river, now filled with electric eels and angry piranhas fishes. Hejira pointed at the vine. "You must each cross the river of truth using this vine swing. But before you do, speak the test of innocence." She raised her voice, echoing like thunder. "If I ate the porridge, if I have repaid the old lady's kindness with evil, as I cross this obstacle of truth, may I lose my grip, and may the water carry me away." The brothers looked at each other, trembling. Hejira's voice softened, though her eyes remained cold. "May the truth lead you across," she said. The three brothers huddled close together, eyes wide with fear as the wind howled around them and the river of truth surged below. Electric eels crackled under the surface, and piranhas swam in furious circles. "I beg," Ida whispered, voice trembling. "If it was any of us, please speak now. Let's beg for forgiveness before it's too late." "Yes," Booba said, his hand on his chest. "We can ask for mercy, but let the truth come out now." Baji looked from one brother to the other and shook his head firmly. "I didn't take anything," he said. "Let's just do what the witch says." Each of them stared, waiting, but no one confessed. With no choice left, they assumed their positions at the edge of the river. First was Baji, the youngest, boldest of the three. Without fear, he stepped forward and recited the words clearly. "If I ate the porridge, if I have repaid the old lady's kindness with evil, as I cross this obstacle of truth, may I lose my grip and may the water carry me away." He grabbed the vine and swung across with ease. His feet landed safely on the other side, and the river calmed beneath him. "Innocent," Hejira said, her voice echoing in the wind. And although Baji had been unsatisfied even after getting a second helping, and had quietly wished for more, his heart had remained pure. He never tried to steal from the old lady. Next was Ida. the eldest, the one who had returned alone to the hut. All eyes were on him. "You were the only one who went back," Baji called out from across the river. "If it's you, just say." "I didn't do it," Ida said quietly. Then he stepped forward and recited the words. "If I ate the porridge, if I have repaid the old lady's kindness with evil, as I cross this obstacle of truth, may I lose my grip and may the water carry me away." He leapt forward, gripping the vine, and like Baji, he made it safely to the other side. "Innocent!" Hejira shouted again. Now only Buba remained. Hejira narrowed her eyes at him. "Last chance," she warned. "Confess and I may still spare you." "I did not steal it," Buba shouted, clenching his fists. "I won't say what I didn't do." With a scowl, he took the vine in his hands, muttered the words quickly, and swung. But halfway through the air, the vine snapped. "Buba!" his brothers screamed. He plunged into the furious river, and the waters churned as the electric eels lit up and piranhas swarmed. Just as they thought it was the end, Hejira raised her hand. A magical shield wrapped around him, and the creatures were driven back. Hejira's voice rang out, calm but cold. "Guilty." The truth was revealed. That night, while the others slept peacefully, Buba, who claimed to be satisfied, had lied to the others, but he did not lie to himself, as he wished for another plate of the delicious porridge. So when everyone was fast asleep, driven by his greed, Buba crept into the kitchen and stole the rest of the porridge, licking every last bit from the pot before sneaking back to bed as if nothing had happened. Tears rolled down his face as he bobbed above the water. "Please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Forgive me, please." His brothers wept, kneeling on the other side of the river. "Have mercy," they begged. "He's our brother." Hejira's expression softened slightly. "I am not evil," she said. "Only just." With a wave of her hand, she pulled Buba from the river and placed him beside her. "As punishment," she declared, "he will serve me in my hut. He will cook, clean, fetch water, and never again cross this river. And every day he shall eat the porridge he stole, forever reminded of the kindness he repaid with greed." With that, Hejira raised her staff, and the strong vine behind Ada and Baji completely vanished. At least, he wasn't fed to the fishes, the other two thought. Ada and Baji, heavy-hearted, turned away and took the long path home. Two brothers, who were once three, had to return home without their brother. And Buba? He stayed behind, in the hut of the old lady, who had once fed him with love, and now kept him with justice. Now he had learnt a hard lesson, that kindness is a sacred gift. And those who twisted it for selfish gains often find that what they steal comes at a cost far greater than they imagined. Buba's punishment was not just the loss of freedom, but the haunting knowledge that he had betrayed the very person who helped him when he needed it most. So whenever kindness is offered to you, remember, it is a test, one that reveals the true measure of your heart. Let it not be said of you that you repaid good with evil. That was today's story from Big Boy Narratives. If you loved this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and come back for more magical tales every Saturday. Sweet dreams, and don't forget, every night is a chance to learn something new. See you again, same time, next week. Good night, little stars. Bye for now.